My name's John Holzscheiter, and I got a story I'd like to share. So the car is a 1972 BMW E9. Originally it was a 3.0 CS, and I found the car in 2016 on the side of the road next to a barn, dying. And I bought the car with the intent of hot rodding it and doing what we've done. Winters here in Vermont are long, and it was going to become a project car. And so my son and I, AJ, on the weekends when he wasn't in school or busy in sports or whatnot, or with his mom, he and I would tinker out here in the garage. And the first thing we needed to do was clean the years of dirt and dust and grime and everything off the car so we could see what we had. So lost AJ in November 30th, 2018 to suicide. And it was the toughest day of our lives. Unfortunately, suicide is a permanent solution to what can sometimes be a temporary problem. So it's final. And that's how we lost AJ. I fell in love with this car in the early 1990s when I first saw my very first E9. One of my good friends from elementary school, grade school, his name was Jason, and I had been talking about hot rods, and he said, well, you think that's fast? You should see what a Porsche is. And I'm like, well, what's a Porsche? And so he introduced me to European cars, and it just fueled from there. And he had an E9, I saw it, and I watched him and his father drive the car around here locally for a number of years. And seeing it on the road, I was just like, someday I'm going to get one, and I want one of those. Klaus. So first I'll say that I'm a boater and a car nut. So those are two of my biggest passions. If you have a boat, you got to name it. Carried that over and started naming my cars. Found that other BMW people did that. True enthusiasts were naming their cars like a member of the family. And so this era of BMW, the E9, comes from the late 60s, early 70s, and at that time BMW had a marketing spin on their newer designs called the New Class with a K. I like the traditionalness of going back to BMW and what they were using to name this class of car back then. And because the car was going to be a hot rod and fast and strong and powerful, I wanted a male name. And when I was thinking about an athletic type German beer drinking, husky, strong person, I don't know, the Klaus popped in my head. Klaus in new class? I'm like, yeah, Klaus. He's been Klaus ever since. Fall of 2016, I bought the car, and it was in pretty rough shape, not really drivable. And it sat here for the winter. And winters here in Vermont are long, and it was going to become a project car. And so we had the car pretty much where it is, and just started cleaning, vacuuming and wiping down and getting all of the dirt and grime, everything off the car. And I put a whiteboard up, that kind of dry erase type thing, and started a list. And so when we were done, we'd usually sit in the car, and I might have a beer and he might have a soda, and we would talk about the car and what I hoped that we could do, and get his thoughts on it. And as we were doing that, a new idea would come up, or this would need to be done, or as we were under the hood, this or that, and so onto the whiteboard, another item would go. And so we created this list of all the to-dos that needed to get done. And that's how we created the whiteboard, was sitting in this garage and just spending time together, cranking tunes and getting the car clean, finding out where the problem areas were going to be and what we wanted to do. One of the first things that you notice about the car is the color. It's not a factory color. It's not a one-of-a-kind color, because it is the same exact color as Eleanor from the movie Gone in 60 Seconds with Nicolas Cage, the 1967 GT500 Mustang, Shelby, of course, same color. So this is DuPont Pepper Metallic Gray. And I just always thought that I loved that car. It was a beautiful car, the color, and the black stripe that's down the side of E9s. We mimicked that same color instead of down along the side skirts of the car. We've got it right down the hip where E9s go. So the black on the gray is really sharp. And so what's special about one detail about that is that that is not a decal. It is painted on. When you're washing and waxing your car, everybody's kind of familiar with how the wax gets stuck on decals. So I didn't want that. The air dam, this air dam is modeled after a E24 M6 or a M635 CSI. And it has a little lip spoiler, which is custom made by the guy that did the interior. His name's Mike Lemire from Richmond Upholstery. And it is it's like a heavy duty plastic slide that ties the whole front air dam together, but the heart of the car is the engine. This car has an S38 from an E24 M6 motor, 250 horsepower to the wheels. It's been dynoed, so they're estimating that the engine's making somewhere, I don't know, 325 to 330 horsepower at the crank. VSR completely tore the engine down to block. I mean, stripped the whole thing, rebuilt the entire motor, so everything is new. It's got Schrick cam in it. It's got Conforti software, 5-speed transmission. So that's also special in that these cars came with 4 speeds. We geared the car specifically so that it's built for driving on back roads. So the power band through the RPMs and the gear set allows this car to accelerate from 50 to 70, 80 miles an hour instantly. It is unreal. The suspension is all from Carl Nilsson out in California, La Jolla Independent. It has wheels that are all from Coupe King, and they're 16-inch Alpina replicas, and we've stuffed the biggest, largest brakes, they're Willwoods, on all 4 corners. Not only does it go, it's got the stopping power as well. It has a rear CSL style duck spoiler that I've always thought was really cool. The 3.5 CS logo on the back is done in the same font as what the emblems were for 3.0, but it's also painted like the stripe down the side. We've got Super Sprint headers into a custom 3-inch diameter stainless steel exhaust that goes out to a Billy Boat exhaust, so it's got a really good sound. There's a switch that we have hidden that allows me to go full open headers. The interior of the car, 100% custom by Mike Lemire, world-renowned interior specialist right here in Vermont, and we work together to custom create the interior, picking out 2 different types of leather, what type of stitching we're going to do. We put in a parcel shelf because when we're on the road, we've always got a cooler where we've got some cool drinks in there, and underneath that is storage. So I can put toolkit back there, extra supplies, cleaning supplies, and the front of those are built-in subwoofers. So it's got an amazing sound system, Blaupunkt, of course, Bluetooth accessibility, and so it's got great sound as well. In the mornings when we're out on a trip or here in Vermont, it's cool. Well, we've got heated seats to do that. We also built a custom center console with a cup holder that fits a pint-sized Arctic perfect tumbler right in there, and an armrest because you just got to have a place to put your arm. It has a 1967 Motolita steering wheel. So the shift knob in the car is something real special in that my mechanic that had serviced my cars, my BMWs for years, his name was Ralph Humberg here in Vermont. And when we bought the car, he reviewed it and gave it the sign off, and I told him what we wanted to do. And so we were going to build the car together. Unfortunately, we lost Ralph too soon. From his collection of bits and pieces and parts, I came across a shift knob that is just a round wooden ball, and it doesn't have anything on it. There's no H pattern, there's nothing, it's just a ball. And so we had that ball custom refurnished and fabricated to match the dash in the car, and so that shift knob is from Ralph. Well, remembering AJ here in the garage is tough. It's because he's not here anymore, but it's a happy place for me. To come spend time, because I knew he liked working out here, whether it was on Klaus or on his Jeep, it's Ruby, or a boat that we had. He spent a lot of time out here, and so having a project like Klaus to do with him together, it kind of gave me hope, and we're going to spend time together.
Come on, AJ!
that's the big thing. It's just having time with each other on a common goal, and envisioning in the back of my head that someday the car would be his, and he'd have kids also, and he would be sharing the car with him and sharing the stories of putting it all together, creating the car that we had dreamed of. And so it was fun to pass on my passion for cars to him, and see him taking to it and enjoying it also, and not necessarily always in the same exact fashion of BMWs. He had a Jeep, and he loved tinkering with that Jeep and turning that Jeep into what he envisioned, and so that was special to pass that passion on and see him catch it and take it in his own direction. But I think the best part was the amount of time that we had out here in the garage, and it's one of the reasons why I spend so much time out here today in the winters and just tinkering, because it's a common bond spot. And I do think that having a project car, something to work on together, it's not always about the car. It's about the time together and bonding.
We're in St. Albans, Vermont, and we're headed up to the BFA Collins Purley Sports Complex, which is where AJ used to play soccer and lacrosse.
He was an athlete. He was an amazing little soccer player, skier, lacrosse player. He even kicked a football for an afternoon in 8th grade. He was tested by the high school team. Never kicked a football in his life, and we had a pretty hotshot kicker on our team that was going off to college somewhere, and gave him a couple pointers. And one of the soccer fathers had said, "Boy, your son's got a boot. He should really be kicking a football." Within a half an hour's time of a little direction here and there, AJ was kicking field goals 47 yards out in 8th grade. So he was an amazing athlete, star scorer on the soccer team. He had a nickname on the lacrosse team. They called him the Freight Train. But his true passion was skiing, and he was an extreme skier and excelled in the Ski the East competitions. At age 15, he was placing and coming in top honors, if you will, at age 15, skiing at places such as Jay Peak and Smuggler's Notch and Mad River Glen, and that was his true passion. But playing lacrosse and soccer, he blew his knee out twice, ACLs, both his left knee, and throughout his life he'd broke his toe, his collarbone, and his wrists and stuff. He was always pushing his body to extremes, and it would break down on him. And so he had worked very, very hard for 2 years' time. After the first ACL, he was back on the lacrosse field, and 4 days after the beginning of practice, he blew his knee out again for a second time. He rehabbed it for a good year, and that was his sophomore year, and then he didn't get back on an athletic field until his senior year. And he played soccer with a team and he practiced and all that, but he didn't go out in the game. And the coaches said, when you're ready, AJ, let us know. And he did play during the senior game for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, but he was holding himself so that he could ski. He wanted his knee to be 100% for skiing. And so we had snow the last, right after Thanksgiving that year in 2018, and he had a chance to get his skis back on in the backyard up his mom's. And we were supposed to go skiing on Saturday, and he was going to be staying with me on Friday night, and we were going to go up to Jay Peak and go skiing for the first time in 2 years. But that Thursday, he had fallen playing broomball at gym class on the ice rink, and he never told anybody. If anybody's had a knee injury such as an ACL multiple times, you know when you've done it, because I've done it myself 3 times also. And the doctor had told him after his second ACL that, hey, if you do this again, I don't know if I can fix it again. And so I think that probably stuck in the back of his head for forever. He was watching Thursday night football. He had his skis laid out, working on some of his college applications, and but he never told us that he had fallen in his knee and he was in pain. And he took his life that night. And I like to believe that he saw all the work, all the effort, and everything that he's had done with physical therapy and going to the gym and working out and just doing everything that he could to get back in shape, to be back on the snow, just disappear from him. And that's what he wanted to do. He was 18. All he wanted to do was go ski. And so after all that, it was taken away from him, and I think he just felt like he gave up on his dream, his future of what life would be, and that he would not be able to ski or do the things that he wanted to do, and didn't think things through, and took his life that night. And devastated our family and our community. AJ had a huge network of friends and very popular, very smart, straight A student, and as mentioned, an amazing athlete. And so it was devastating.
We are headed to AJ's grave cemetery.
In the weeks after we lost him, I knew we had to do something. We weren't just gonna go off into the sunset, let AJ just fade away. We had to do something different. And I've been a promoter of community events, fundraising, and organizer of many different things over my career. And so I knew I didn't want to run another golf tournament, because I've been doing that for many years, and AJ wasn't much of a golfer anyway, although he played and he could hit the ball pretty well. But it was in the immediate couple of days after we lost AJ, as so many friends and were with us, comforting us, that I learned that AJ, wherever he was kind of the DJ. This is my sit here and talk to him. Have a little whiskey,
maybe a cigar. Sometimes I'll just take my phone and set it on there and I'll play some music. One of his favorite songs or something from his...
He was the guy that was spinning the tunes. And, of course I knew that happened when he was around me, but I didn't realize that was happening when he was with his friends, or that when he was with his mom and their adult friends. And I had, adults come up to me and be like, where did he learn all of this music that he has? I mean, it was crazy, the genres and the music that he would pull out and the knowledge. And, when we went skiing, all those times when we were young, we were always playing classic rock on the CD player on the way up and back. And you get, kind of like hockey, you get a lot of time in the car, windshield time. With that, I kind of was like, we should do a concert, a music festival, if you will. We had this poem that I learned when I lost my grandmother, and it was the first time I was introduced to the poem. And the poem was named AfterGlow. It was a poem that talked about how someone wanted to be remembered after they had died. And it talked about the rays of sunshine drying the tears on your face. It was a special poem that my grandmother loved, that we had at her funeral. And we took that same poem and we had it at AJ's funeral as well. And it was in the weeks after that poem and the name Afterglow was like, that would be a perfect name for our concert. And so we created a foundation that's called the Afterglow Foundation, or a nonprofit. And we set out as a family to do a benefit concert to raise money to fight suicide, to raise awareness of prevention, and to drop the stigma, do what we can to drop the stigma of suicide. We realized that there was all sorts of programs. Talk to your kids about drugs, drinking, sex, texting and driving. There's just all these different programs to talk to kids about these things. But there wasn't any program, wasn't anything out there that talked to us or taught us as parents about talking to our kids about suicide. I can remember not wanting to talk to them about it. I didn't want to even introduce the concept. I remember probably the only thing that I ever said about suicide to the kids was after watching a movie with Robin Williams, the famous line, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," and watching that movie. And when it was over, saying to the kids, don't ever do that. It'll absolutely break my heart. And that's the only time I ever had any discussion about suicide with my kids.
So our next stop is Northwestern Counseling and Support Services, which is one of the primary beneficiaries of all the work we do for AfterGlow. It's also where we as a family went for assistance and help with counseling and grief counseling, if you will, from when we lost AJ.
We partnered with a local mental health counseling called Northwest Counseling and Support Services. They helped us as a family in the aftermath of losing AJ and how to come to grips and move on, and how to continue on. And so we talked to them about the concert and what we were looking to do, and if we were to go out and raise funds for him, would they be able to develop these programs? And soon they brought in the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, the Vermont chapter, and we were on our way.
It's a great honor. I'm going to get maybe a little mushy here. It's great to have you guys and your guys on stage playing for AfterGlow, and they used to ski and compete with AJ on the mountain, so they knew who AJ was, and I'm just really happy to have you guys here and open up our show. So Sean and Shelby and King Me, hit it.
Our very first concert, we raised $28,000 to these area organizations that focus on mental health and talking and teaching and gaining awareness about prevention and awareness of suicide.
Sorry, this is hard. You don't know how deep the scars are, and they might look good on the outside, they might be performing well and having a good job or being an athlete, but you just don't know what the weight that they're carrying. So today in this event here is about us recognizing that we need a safe space to unload. We need a safe space to talk about pain and unpack it.
This past September, we held our fifth AfterGlow concert. And we hold it on AJ's birthday weekend. We do it as a party, as a celebration and a remembrance to AJ on his birthday. And this past year, we'll be giving away $130,000 here in the state of Vermont to local organizations that are focused on mental health and suicide awareness and teaching parents how to talk to their kids about suicide. This year we will have given out close to $400,000 in the last 5 years to fight suicide. And so that's how we came to create AfterGlow. And what's kind of neat about it is that the W in AfterGlow is actually AJ doing his Cossack jump, which was his trademark, his go-to jump when he was skiing and doing his competitions, and we made that into the W. So AJ is incorporated into it. And the colors of our logo of AfterGlow, in addition to being poem, is the colors that you see in the sky when the sun goes down in the evening, the pinks and the oranges and the reds and the purples, those colors that you see in the sky lighting underneath the clouds is an afterglow. It's an afterglow of the sun. It's the life of the day has gone, and it leaves an afterglow. What an amazing way to think about and remember somebody, is that they've left an afterglow. And so those colors come from that. And AJ had a knack for camera. He took some pretty amazing pictures, and a lot of those were sunsets. And so he had a passion for those sunsets. And so that's how the colors and why Afterglow is so meaningful to us, in that it pulls all that together and helps us remember. What does Afterglow have to do with cars and my passion for cars? Well, here's how we kind of tie that in, okay? This was a project that AJ and I were going to do together. After we lost AJ, we created the Afterglow Foundation to do that. And that was the one thing I knew that we needed to do. And the other thing I knew I needed to do was I needed to do what we had talked about doing to Klaus. We had just returned from probably a 3,000-mile trip in the car, before he was named Klaus, actually, I think, to South Carolina, to the 50th anniversary of Oktoberfest. And my wife and I, the car just drove absolutely amazing, and we're like, we need to do the list. And so the car went to the VSR, and they worked on the car for the next 2 years to get it done. And in that time, we continued to work on Afterglow. And part of the mission of Afterglow is to reach out to as many people as we can. And so there is a huge car community out there. And I've been fortunate enough to be welcomed in and have the passion. And so having a gorgeous, beautiful car, and so many other families that have had family projects where father and son, father and daughter, father and uncles, whatever, however it might be, have worked on cars together, which is what this car was supposed to be. It allows us to reach out to those people, a huge demographic of very passionate people, to talk to them and give them awareness of suicide, to spread the word of what we're trying to do, and hope that they want to be a part of what we're doing.
We're up here at JP, and we're in the parking lot where we used to get ready. And so it's weird, over the years, there's been times when we've been in special places with AJ, and he starts making it snow. And so Klaus is here, and the guys are taking the film and having my cigar, kind of what I do when I come up here, and it's snowing. So that's a true sign that he's here right now. His ashes are up on the hill, mountain, and it's snowing. True sign he's here.
Just in the 3 years that Klaus has been done, and the various shows that we've been to, and the publicity that we've had, and promotion, communicating our story, had a handful, numerous people come up and talk about how they've lost their son, their daughter, their mother, their father, their uncle, somebody to suicide, and to become closer. And you go to any car event that's been going on for a long time, and people say it's not always about the cars. The cars are here, those are what bring us here. But the best part of the car community and being in the car enthusiast world is the friendships that you make. And so this allows us to reach more people and tell our story, and hopefully in the process save more lives by continuing to fund these programs that educate people and eliminate the stigma of suicide. I'd like the memory of me to be a happy one. I'd like to leave an afterglow of smiles when life is done. I'd like to have an echo whispering softly down the ways of happy times and laughing times and bright and sunny days. I'd like the tears of those who grieve to dry before the sun of happy memories that I leave when life is done.